Sanjeev, pop quiz. What the hell is Gallipoli Campaign and who was involved? Bet you he doesn't know.
I know. History just makes me barf. Every time I hear history, I'm like, so if they're trying to build a road through the sea, are they called roadmen back then? Or?
What the hell?
Let's keep watching.
What the hell?
Is this the same Winston Churchill that became Prime Minister after?
250k.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Crazy. That's why he wanted to go to Turkey, my friend.
No.
Hi everyone, welcome back. You're watching U3 Media, and with you, Khalid here today. We got Raja,
Yo.
we got Big Man Sanjeev.
Since you're back in the building, baby.
We got another exciting React video for you today. Raja, you want to take the reign on this one?
Wait, do you guys hear that?
What's that?
What's that?
It's like the bugle horn for the dawn ceremony. So they play this at dawn, the crack of dawn, and it's to celebrate the ANZAC soldiers who left for the Gallipoli Campaign.
Hold on. ANZAC is Australia and New Zealand Army Corps, if I'm not wrong. Yes? So this is a joint military group that performed missions for the British Crown in the World War? Yes?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I don't know, man. I'm just gonna say history just makes me barf. Every time I hear history, I'm like,
You better have a paper bag ready because there's going to be a heavy dose of history tonight.
I'm gonna have to educate myself on history. So I'm not really good with history. So we're gonna watch a video, find out what this is, and for all of you history nerds, keep commenting. Let us know what you find interesting and what you don't find interesting.
Before we watch this video, we would like to pay our respects to the ANZAC soldiers. This is something that is etched in Australian history. We're going to be watching a video on the Gallipoli Campaign, which took place in 1915. Sanjeev, pop quiz. What the hell is Gallipoli Campaign and who was involved? Bet you he doesn't know.
I know.
Alright, so let's watch this video.
The Gallipoli Campaign, 1915 to 1916. World War I. By 1915, the war on the Western Front had fallen into a stalemate. The Allied powers fighting in Belgium and France were considering opening a new front. In January 1915, Grand Duke Nicholas of Russia had appealed to Britain for assistance against the Ottoman Empire, a member of the Central Powers which had invaded the Caucasus.
So, the Ottomans, modern-day Turkey, they were in decline at that time. They were a very powerful empire, but they were in the decline. And the British forces decided to attack them after a few failed attacks from the Ottoman side as well.
Interesting.
A naval expedition was launched by the Allies to capture the Dardanelles Straits, a passage that connects the Aegean Sea to the Sea of Marmara in northwestern Turkey, and beyond that, the Black Sea. If they were successful in their goal, the Allies could link up supply routes with Russia and knock the Ottoman Empire out of the war. Furthermore, as First Lord of the Admiralty, Winston Churchill proposed opening...
Winston Churchill, obviously he's a hero to the British people, but to the people of the subcontinent, not so much. Let us know what you think of this man in the comments.
So if they're trying to build a road through the sea, are they called roadmen back then? Or?
What the hell?
Let's keep watching.
What the hell?
No, wait. Is this the same Winston Churchill that became Prime Minister afterwards?
Yes, of course.
So he was actually part of the military.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. I actually thought he was just, this rich, posh guy who just, got into Parliament and been a minister all his life. But it's good to see that he actually did some military campaign then.
Yeah.
All I can see is he's got male pattern baldness, but that's it. Yeah, let's keep watching.
That's why he wanted to go to Turkey, my friend.
No.
Alright, let's keep watching.
would dilute the German forces as they supported the depleting Ottoman Turkish army. British Admiralty Winston Churchill pushed for a naval attack on the Dardanelles with a bombardment by British and French battleships on February the 19th, 1915, and resumed on the 25th because of bad weather. The Ottomans had placed mines in the water, and the minesweepers had failed to detect many.
Don't talk about Minesweeper
The
too.
British also sent Royal Marines ashore to sabotage Ottoman artillery. On March the 18th, Allied battleships entered the straits, fire from the Turks and undetected mines sank 3 of the ships and damaged 3 others. This naval assault could not work because the Turkish guns needed to be silenced, and so did the minefields, which was impossible to do at the same time. The naval ships were also mainly obsolete warships, unsuitable for action. After this failed naval attack, a full-scale amphibious beach assault would begin on the Gallipoli Peninsula. General Ian Hamilton was commander and had assembled 77 ships and 75,000 men. However, he lacked specialist landing craft. Under his command were British forces, ANZAC, standing for Australian and New Zealand Army Corps, and lastly, French troops. The landing started on April 25th. The Allies suffered heavy casualties, establishing the beachheads of Cape Helles and ANZAC Cove on the Aegean coast.
Why did that scene, if you go back for a second?
Yeah.
Why does that look like this famous Steven Spielberg movie with Tom Hanks? Saving Private
Private Ryan.
Right.
Yeah, or like Normandy or D-Day. Like it looks a bit like that, right?
I mean, it was like a ground attack from a beach, yes. So it has similarities. Yeah.
The ANZAC forces had landed a little north of the intended landing site of Gallipoli at a cove instead. The Gallipoli landings would become known as the ANZAC Cove landings, in honor of the Australian and New Zealand troops who fought valiantly against the determined Ottoman Turkish defenders. After the landing, the Allies could not progress as trench warfare quickly formed like it had done on the Western Front. The summer heat and the dysentery epidemic were unbearable, and swarms of flies hung around corpses. Hamilton ordered an attack on Suvla Bay in August, involving the landing of 63,000 Allied troops. They were to link up with ANZACs at ANZAC Cove and break the stalemate. But indecision meant that the Ottoman Empire would reinforce the position, and by August 10th, an attack led by Mustafa Kemal recaptured Suvla Bay. Allied casualties increased and the stalemate continued. Reinforcements were lacking. It was time for evacuation. The order to evacuate the Allied troops was given on the 7th of December, with the last troops leaving Suvla Bay and ANZAC Cove before dawn on the 20th of December 1915. The last troops left Cape Helles on January the 9th, 1916, and the evacuation was a success with no casualties. The Gallipoli Campaign was a disaster for the Allies, who suffered more than
250K.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Crazy.
Basically, this was a suicide mission.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
A lot of Aussie blokes, a lot of Aussie lives lost.
Shout out to my allied armies.
But here's the thing, this is a topic of big debate as well. The thing is, the ANZAC forces, they were operating under the British Crown to attack Turkey, the Ottomans in their homeland. However, the Turks were actually defending their homeland from an invasion. So,
What bothers me is that being in the trenches, like people are dying, and they don't even have, all they have is like food, right? And they can't even freaking move from there, and they're like, shitting everywhere, and there's like poop, there's urinals, nothing, and you're just like disease, flies everywhere. It's crazy.
A lot of people do say that this war, this Gallipoli campaign was the last gentleman's war, because they showed a great amount of honor to each other, even though they were enemies and they were killing each other. Now, the place where they landed, it's called ANZAC Cove by the Turkish government. They named it ANZAC Cove. And there's a statue of Ataturk next to this place as well. So Ataturk is the person.
Hey, bro, you're a history nerd. Ataturk,
He's the man. He made Turkey. He's the guy who made Turkey.
Yeah.
Watching
50,000 casualties, while on the Ottoman side, they also had an estimated 250,000 casualties. Gallipoli has become a defining moment in the history of both Australia and New Zealand, and has been recognised as their baptism of fire and a key event to their emergence as independent nations. In Turkey, the battle was seen as a significant event in the foundation of modern Turkey, and a final victorious defence before the end of the Ottoman Empire.
Watch our other videos.
All right. Thoughts?
Yeah, just next time around, if it's public holiday on ANZAC Day, just pay a tribute and not get wasted with my mates. But yeah,
Salute, basically.
Yeah, yeah.